Hello again, okay, here in this video concerning Amazon. That's right. And that book for the pedophiles, okay? That guy that wrote that book for the pedophiles, okay? You know, I can understand why a lot of people wrote and they don't want that book out there. I can respect that and I understand that, okay? But I have a problem, okay? I guess the problem I have is all the people that stood up and wanted after Amazon to take that book down, okay? That don't belong for sale. Nobody should be selling that, okay? I can respect Amazon's position as far as they're not promoting or pushing anything. They're just selling stuff, okay? But my problem, I guess, is the fact that all these people, okay, go after Amazon to get them to take the book down, okay? It's not the fact that the people done this that bothers me, okay? Let me show you this clip, and then I'll be right back with you.
Well, why can't we just let kids be kids, at least when they're 5? Now we have sex ed in kindergarten? This week, hundreds of outraged parents showed up at a school board meeting in Helena, Montana, carrying signs upset about the school district's plans for a new sex ed curriculum. Again, starting with kids as young as 5, teaching them about the body parts, proper terms. Here's a few of them: penis, vagina, nipples, testicles. For a 5-year-old, and you move on to 1st grade, taught about same-sex love. 5th grade, we get options for sex, including anal penetration. That's a 10-year-old. Hey, what about concentrating on math, science, English? Leave the parents to handle those delicate issues of morality that should be taught at home. Or maybe you think this is age appropriate. We need to be teaching this. This is news.
Okay, what'd you see there? Yeah, you saw part of a report on UNESCO, United Nations, teaching children sex. That's right, starting at 5 years old, teaching a child how to masturbate, okay? No lies, truth, okay? This is the problem, okay? You people go after somebody who writes a book on pedophilia, but you allow your government and UNESCO, which is United Nations, by the way, to bring sexual education to your children into the school system, teaching them how to masturbate at 5, teaching them by the time they're 10 that it's okay to have sex with another, for a boy to be with a boy or a girl to be with a girl. So you're going to allow your school system and your government to completely destroy your kids' morals or anything about them and totally turn them into an animalistic world by teaching them sex at this young age, knowing what the consequences is going to be. It's only got one spot it will ever go. You'll have 7-year-olds naked with each other. That's what you'll have. And you'll have a lot more 10-year-old girls pregnant, okay? An animalistic world, okay? It's just too bad that all these people that attacked Amazon, where was you when it came to UNESCO? Where was you when the United Nations and your government wants to do this? Why aren't you attacking them? Why aren't they the center of focus of attention to bring that shit to a stop? How is it that you can idly sit back and allow this to happen, but then when a guy writes a book on pedophilia, y'all come out of the woodwork and attack him? What's wrong with this picture? There's nothing wrong with you coming out of the woodwork to attack the guy who wrote the book that went on Amazon, but there is something wrong when you won't fucking do the same damn thing with UNESCO, United Nations. And that you'll just idly sit back and let them do it. But then you'll worry about a guy who wrote a book on pedophilia. What do you want to worry about a guy who wrote a book on pedophilia? When you have government officials, you know, like Mr. Bush, the original, the daddy, the first Bush that was in office, George Walker Bush, I think that's what they call him. He had children in the White House for sex. That's right. He got by with it, too, because he's the president. He's above the laws. That's right. He's above the laws. See, somebody like Barack Obama, he can go have sex with a 10-year-old girl. He could have sex with a 10-year-old boy, and he will get by with it, and you will sweep it under the rug because of who he is. And you won't say a thing, and you'll let it happen, won't you? I guess it's sort of like that guy who made the complaint about, well, that we won't have another Holocaust in this country because people are going to rise up and stand against them, and they won't let it happen because we have guns. Really? Really? Are you sure? I don't know where you live, but in the United States, people ain't going to do that. Hell, they won't even impeach a president. Think about it. Mr. Bush got caught in his bold-faced lies and led you into a war that was fake, and okay. And he got caught in his lies. Dick Cheney got caught in their lies. Did we do anything? No, we didn't. No. No. Barack Obama ain't even a U.S. citizen. But do we do anything? No. Okay, no, we don't. So what the hell makes you think that we would stand up against them? No, we won't. The people in this country shit their pants when fucking somebody has a badge or a government official approaches them. They're shitting their pants and peeing their pants and fucking shivering in their freaking shoes. So there ain't no way you're going to stand up, right? But you'll stand up and attack a guy who wrote a book on pedophilia. But you'll allow your government officials to be pedophiles, and you'll allow your government officials as a pedophile to run you. Interesting, isn't it? And that's not no lie. Go do your research and you'll find out that I'm telling you the truth. Watch this news report on Amazon. Leave your comments and opinions. Next video, you have a good one.
Amazon.com, it would seem, has pulled an e-book for pedophiles from its online store. It's done so after a barrage of complaints and threats of a boycott against Amazon. The book is titled The Pedophile's Guide to Love and Pleasure, a Child Lover's Code of Conduct. Amazon initially defended the publication, releasing a statement that read, Amazon believes it is censorship not to sell certain books simply because we or others believe their message is objectionable. We do support the right of every individual to make their own publishing decisions. But Amazon.com apparently removed the book from its site anyway, so the company is responsible for the content of what it sells? Really? Let's ask our legal panel, why don't we? The defense attorney David Wall is with us, and Stephen Razor with us as well. David, what do you say?
Well, I got to say, Shep, you know, legally there was no reason to remove this. I mean, the First Amendment protects their right to sell the book, your right to buy the book, but it protects no one's right to actually act out on the teachings of the book. And if someone does, Shep, then they alone are responsible. That's because Amazon is not aiding and abetting or encouraging what this book teaches. It's like the Anarchist Cookbook. Also available on Amazon. That'll teach you how to make bombs and blow them up. Or they have pre-orders now being taken, Shep, for a book called How to Smuggle Cocaine. Again, as long as Amazon doesn't encourage this activity or aid and abet in the activity, they're not going to be legally responsible if some idiot goes and does what the book teaches.
Stephen, what do you say?
I think they're putting themselves in very dangerous territory by taking that position, because if it does turn out that you have an individual who takes this book, uses the book, the how-to guide, commits the crime of molesting a child, and that book is then traced back to Amazon, who's selling it, then I think they're leaving themselves open to legal liability. If it could be shown that Amazon knew of the content of the book, and therefore they did aid and abet in that crime, because they advertised it, they gave the means. And I would make an analogy to material support in terrorism. There is a federal statute out there that has shut down websites because of the fact that they have helped terrorists in promoting terrorism. So there is a connection there.
No.
What about it, David?
I don't see that at all. No, I mean, this is not aiding and abetting or encouraging anything, Shep. I mean, they're selling the book, and that's precisely what the First Amendment protects, rather. And this is one really critical point here. It's not legally child porn because there are no pictures of children in this book or in this online book or whatever it is. And that's critical. As reprehensible as this book is, and as horrible as it is, you know, there's a slippery slope when you start deciding, well, we're going to sell this book, we're not going to sell that book. I mean, we're engaging in censorship, and that's exactly what Amazon does not stand for. They're not helping terrorists.
Shep, let me make one point here that I've got to ask this question for Amazon. I want an answer to this question. According to Amazon's own content guidelines, this book violates two tenets promoting illegal activity and promoting obscene material. Those two are obvious violations of their own content guidelines. So what I want to know from Amazon is, why did they feel that this book was an exception to their own rules?
Well, these are
You
good
know what,
questions.
Shep?
Go ahead, real quick.
Obviously, they didn't feel it was an exception, because they did take it down. It's just legally, Shep, according to the First
When they were
Amendment,
forced to
just
do
didn't
it.
have to.
When they were forced to do it by the public. And
It was
I'm
a
glad
great
that
PR
the public
move.
stepped
Right, it's
up.
a PR move.
Well,
Absolutely
Stephen
a
and
PR
David, one thing that we know is the truth from now is it was like 150th or something on their sellers list, and it shot all the way up to the top 50 before they pulled it off there. And if it goes back up, it's not like you can teach somebody to be a pedophile, I wouldn't think. I mean, you got that in here, you know.
Well, I'm glad they did the right thing in the end.
Well, I'm glad it's off there. We'll keep
Absolutely.
an eye on it and let people know what's happened with it. Stephen, David, thank you both.